Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, I want to go over my 5th anniversary Raid Chronicle video. Personally, I don't think it's as good as their previous year's recap videos because this year's video has a very limited time frame. So it's not too impressive, and it also doesn't really give you a clear overall picture of how your account has been doing, especially if you've been playing for more than 1 year, for example. I think they mentioned that it was the last 18 months or up to the 18 months, but I noticed that some of the stats are only the last 12 months. But anyways, we'll go over that. And I want to go over an old video that I did when my channel was really small, but I did a lot of work on this video. And I was basically comparing all the big content creators 4th anniversary recap videos. I think this will be interesting for a lot of my new viewers, especially since it's been a long time since I put that out, and I was much smaller, so it didn't have much exposure. But I think the data in that video will be very interesting for you guys. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the Raid 5th anniversary thing here. So if you guys want to collect the rewards, just click share, click either one of these. They won't get posted, and you'll still get the rewards. So just something quick and easy. But let's jump into my video here. I'm moving my head.
Friend. Let's see what the cards have to say about you. You have quite the story. You're quite the summoner.
Yeah, let me know in the comments below how my video compares to yours. I really have no point of reference, so I don't know if it's a lot or little or impressive or not. So no idea. I guess that's my dragon team or something. I don't know.
You're an intrepid.
I use ethos only in arena, but lately I haven't used them, so I've been using Georgia instead.
And
9,000.
Their fortune. You're a legend of the arena. You are a conqueror of the demon lord.
Everybody's a conqueror.
And vanquisher of the Hydra.
"48 Hydra fights." No idea what that means. 10 clash victories. Okay.
You've accomplished much, but your destiny
Okay.
is more. May fortune smile.
I mean, overall, it really just gives you a bunch of numbers. It's hard to make real use of them. I think in past videos they actually gave you a percentage of how you did in terms of the overall population. Like, oh, you'll rank in the top 3% of players doing certain parts or aspects. But yeah, this is just total numbers here, not really anything too relevant. But anyways, I'm going to jump into, like I said, this data set that I have from last year's recap video that might be interesting for you guys. Like I said, it has a lot of content creators info, recap video info on there. So you guys can compare your favorite content creators against, kind of against each other in terms of how well they do, or which areas they prefer and which areas they completely ignore. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so this is the spreadsheet data that I have put together myself. I did this last year. If you guys are interested, I'll link the video up up top here, but basically it was a video that didn't get received or watched very much. I feel like the data was actually pretty fun and interesting. It could have developed into like some kind of discussion, but we definitely didn't take off like I would have hoped. But here it is, presented data for you guys here. Like I said, this is going to be the 4th anniversary recap video data, basically a lot more detailed than the current 5th anniversary one, which I honestly don't really feel like doing the same process again, basically collecting data from all the content creators and then putting them in a spreadsheet, because I don't find that that particular data is that interesting because it's only for a short period of time. The 4th anniversary data, which I have here, actually encompasses their entire career, or 4 years of raid, as opposed to just 1 year of raid. So we can just jump in here real quick. Some of these content creators you might already know: Murder Inc., Sheeny, Hell Hades, Chosen, Madcapper, Ash. All these guys are all here. You guys can view them right here in the left hand corner. But basically, I've red boxed the basically peaks of each category, so you can see which content creator is basically the high scores the highest in that particular column. For example, we can see here Murder Inc. for his lifetime, he's definitely pulled quite a bit of champions from shards. You can see here that Mac Chan, he's definitely did the most farming out of everybody, but then you can see how other people stack up as well. You can see here I did a column called Total Max Dungeon Energy. So you can see Mac Chan here spent the most in terms of total energy for farming. Of course, there's going to be some limitations with this spreadsheet because obviously raid was a lot different in year 1 compared to how it was in year 4. So obviously people that were farming more efficiently later on in raid's development would have maybe acquired more gear or better gear in less amount of energy. So this is not like a finite data set, but it just shows some relatively long-term players of the game farming and pulling shards and how they compared against each other. There's some interesting ones here, like for example, you can see that basically Ash is like one of the biggest whales in terms of overall pulling shards, more pulled shards than Murder Inc., and just slightly less than Scratch, who's the biggest whale actually at pulling shards, or maybe he's the luckiest. And then we also have this right now is actually sorted by who's been playing the longest. So you can see the length of time. So if, for example, if a person is pulling a lot of shards, but they've only been playing the game for very few months or few years, for the least amount. So you can see here, Jarek's a newer content creator. He's definitely, in my opinion, the biggest whale out of all these whales, because look at the amount of champions he's pulled per month. 1,200 champions and he has no close competitor. So you can see he's the biggest whale out of all these whales. You have both my accounts right here. Both my accounts are listed free to play, and then you can kind of see how they stack against some of these massive accounts. So for example, I spent about 1.2 million energy into dungeons, whereas someone like Scratch has spent 5 million. So his farming capability is just absolutely through the roof compared to someone that's free to play. So there's no comparison there. Another interesting column here is that they actually had statistics for Minotaur farming. So this column right here, you can see who's actually been doing their Minotaur scrolls, farming them or buying them. Ash, super guilty of buying Minotaur scrolls. You can see he's basically done no Minotaur in his entire raid career. So all his scrolls are purchased, and you can kind of see who actually purchases the scrolls or goes through the trouble of Minotaur. And lastly, I do have a arbitrary kind of my own subjective rating on how big of a spender some of these people are. I think each money sign would probably be like 10,000 spending worth, or under, or within the 0 to 10,000, or 11,000 to 20,000, for example. So it's a pretty big range, but we can kind of see how each of them stack up against each other. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm just going to leave this data set for whoever's interested in actually checking out. Obviously, each column I basically just put in myself to try to give myself and viewers a clearer picture on what is actually happening. So yeah, I hope it's interesting. I hope it should put things in perspective. If you guys obviously know your own fourth video cap statistics, you can obviously compare, but obviously I think that video might be a little bit old or expired by now. But yeah, you can kind of see the stark difference between, basically a free-to-play player like myself versus some really big spenders in the game, right? And how the gap is basically insurmountable in terms of like things like energy spending or champion acquisition. Like, look at this champion acquisition, 100 to 400. It just doesn't even come close. But anyways, guys, that's all for this video. Hopefully it was interesting and informative to you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you guys analyze something or saw something in this data set that might be of interest to people. Feel free to share it. Happy to hear about it. But I just wanted to show this data set to you guys. I put a lot of work into obviously putting this together last year. It just didn't get a lot of views, but hopefully it sees some fresh eyes this year and how it compares to this year's 5th anniversary video, which is pretty poorly done compared to last year's, in my opinion. I was excited to do a 5th year recap spreadsheet like this, but I'm probably not going to because the data set, it doesn't feel super relevant and the time frame is a little bit too short for my liking. But anyways, guys, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one.